Hey everyone, welcome back. Another episode of Notorious Autosports. This week we are back in Mustang content. We've got the infamous Project Snowflake Detch there, OG Detch Coupe that we picked up last year. Nice little road trip there. It's a little dirty right now. Been driving it for the last couple days, doing a shakedown, so we're gonna refer to it as the dirty Snowflake today. Got that at a storage. Gonna actually be driving it and the other notch that is behind me to Chocolate Fox show in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So we got my good buddy Lewis. I actually flew in on Sunday from Florida, and we picked his car up about a year and a half ago, and he has never seen it in person until the other day when we pulled it out of that nice enclosed trailer over there. Great for clean transport. What do you think, Lewis? 2 years. Finally get to see it in person.
It needs to be lowered.
I told you. First day ever seeing it in person after a 2-year wait. Only seen photos. It's got 91,000 kilometers, super low mile, 90 notch, black interior. And we're just going through doing some pre-road trip prep on that. We fixed the stance yesterday, got some lowering springs in there. We are gonna be ditching these wheels as he's just not a fan of those black Cobra R's. Went through and did some Tokiko D-Spec adjustable struts in the front, get rid of those old original ones. Checked all the brakes over, did an oil change, just general road trip maintenance. So today, we are getting ready to finish that up. There's not a whole lot left, and what are you working on here, Lewis?
What's up, man? Today, cap and rotor.
So we got some original 91 date-coated wires, which is pretty wild. So this must have been a late build 90, and we're just gonna go through. We cleaned out throttle body and the IAC. It was little hunting on the idle yesterday. It's also been sitting all winter. So got that cleaned out, that cleared up a good amount. New air filter in there. We had this vintage Fram air filter. Actually, I'll have to pull out the box on that one. And oh yeah, check that out. Old school. It's actually pretty period correct looking, by the way. And we're gonna go through, all we've got left on this one today is plugs, wires, cap and rotor, and then swap out these, well, not so favorable in our opinion. If you like them, that's cool, that's fine. It's just not our taste. So we're gonna run out to another location, grab some wheels that we're going to borrow from Infamous, and put them on there, send this out, get it aligned tomorrow morning, and then it is road trip ready to go all the way to Pennsylvania and then carrying on to Florida. So as I said, 90, nice clean original paint. Yeah. Tidy black interior here. It's in really good shape. Already got those map pockets tidied up. Do your 2 minutes. make them not sag. And overall, really tidy car. And looks a lot better now that we got this thing down and not looking like a 4x4. That back end could still come down another inch, but you know, road trip friendly. So after we're done that, we're gonna get into this. It sat for 10 plus years until we picked it up last year. And it's got a little bit of maintenance that needs to be done. Timing cover gasket is seeping, so we're gonna get into that. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see how time permits and how things come apart. Those water pump bolts can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. And then just a general overview, we're gonna check all the fluids on this, like we did on the other car yesterday. Might actually give it an oil change too, wouldn't be a bad idea. And then make sure that brakes are okay in the back, wheel cylinders are all okay. And that's kind of what we got going on. So I will catch up with you guys in a little bit. All right, so it's later, quite a bit later, actually 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna get started on this one now. We got the wheels swapped over on the other car. I actually forgot to get an after shot there, but we'll get something to post up to show you guys the temporary road trip rollers there. And as you saw earlier, we were doing the tune-ups. I got all that done, double check the timing. Everything is good on that car. Goes for the alignment first thing tomorrow morning, and then it is done. On this one, I've been driving it around a little bit, doing a bit of shakedown as I mentioned earlier. But we do have, from this thing sitting for so long, I don't know if you can see down in there or not. Yeah. Try and I'll grab another light and we'll see about that. But bit of timing cover leak from gas that's just drying out there. Actually, hold on while I'm on that. Let me go grab a light and I will actually show you guys. All right, so as I was saying, down timing cover gasket leaking a bit of coolant there. It's not bad, but you can see some signs down in there. And the other day when I was driving it, there was actually a drop sitting on the top. So enough that just it's not confidence inspiring. So I'm sure it'll be all right. It's an 8-hour drive or so, but it's just something like that. It's just better to get it out of the way, not have to worry about it. And tomorrow we're gonna get it up on the lift. I'm gonna check just basic underneath the car, pull those wheels off in the back, check those wheel cylinders, make sure they're not leaking, and then just know that we should be fairly problem free. Grabbed an extra TFI module because they have been known to go bad. Factory coils are pretty good. AC blows cold. That's gonna be a nice one. Hopefully get into some warm weather. But for now, we're going to get into ripping this timing cover apart, and I'll probably set up a bit of a time lapse here for you guys. And then depending on how that goes, we may go a little further. Stay tuned for that. But hopefully these bolts come out. They have been known to be not so nice coming through there from the timing cover. So we'll get stuck into that, get that torn apart, and then go from there.
All right, so Rad is out. As you saw me fighting a bunch with that. It's really nice Mushimoto Rad and a fan set up and this painless fan connector here. And nowhere from this relay or this ground that was here is there an intermediate connector into the fan. So cutting all the wire ties, pulling the relay out of here, depinning this, which for some reason they don't have a release tab on the back side of the relay block there to be able to pull the pins out. Not sure what went on there, but just a lot of fighting. And that's what I'm continuing to do now, actually. If you had seen me multiple times, right down in there, I had a ratchet. And then I went back to it with the ratchet. And then I had an extremely long wrench. And now I've had a 2-foot bar and torches on that bolt that is going through that power steering pump all the way into the bracket that's at the back of the AC compressor that goes onto the head. That bolt does not want to move. Unfortunately, even when I started on that, the head was half rounded, so it's really not helping. I'm gonna see if I can get this AC compressor off, try and get at that bracket that's on the head that the bolt's going through, see if I can release it there. Otherwise, it's really hard to get a water pump off and a timing cover when I can't even get the first bracket off. So I'm gonna jump back into that. I've been well over an hour to even get to this point, which is kind of silly, but a lot of this stuff has never been apart and it is showing. So gonna keep on going here for a bit, try and get this at least apart a bit more before we get in tomorrow morning. All right, we're back. Next morning, I worked till, 12:30. Went home, crashed, 4.5 hours of sleep. We're back on this thing. And it's not going so well. Had a little chat with Infamous last night after dealing with all these seized bolts. And we've come to the joint conclusion that if it's this bad and we're only this far in, that it's only gonna get worse. Trying to do that timing cover might end up with broken bolts in the block and it could be disastrous. We got to leave in the morning. Don't have time for that. So unfortunately, my potential surprise plan was to jam a B cam in here, but that's definitely not happening. Might happen later, but for now, I was, as I had mentioned earlier, fighting with that bolt. Torched that a whole bunch. It didn't want to come free. Tried this one with heating it up, trying to get it out of the head. That didn't want to come free, so can't get that power steering off and the bracket out of the way. So we're just gonna end up putting my least favorite item in there, a stop leak and fresh coolant. Put a proper connector on that fan so that it'll actually come apart next time without having to try and depin the relay and disasters there. But yeah, that's about it. We're gonna put it together and then do a general check over on the car, get these things cleaned up, and then try and maybe even get some sleep tonight, since that hasn't happened for a week now. So I'm gonna get stuck into this and hopefully it goes back together as easily as it came apart this far. There it is, all finished up. We got both cars ready. Fortunately on a bit of a time crunch. Finished this car off with filling, bleeding cooling system, nothing too exciting there. And just going through making sure all the fluids were topped up. We are good. Check tire pressures, retorque the wheels, and everything is all set up on that. So need to get both cars out, get them cleaned up. As you can see, we got a set of donor wheels on Lewis's car there for the drive. That'd be a little nicer than those not so wanted Cobra R's. So We're gonna get these things washed up. Really would have liked to get the cam in there. Unfortunately, on some of these close short time crunches, just can't quite get as much done as you'd like. Got to make sure that we can get these cars to the show. If I get in there and something breaks, a bolt snaps off, then nobody's going anywhere and we're not going to make it to the show at all. So unfortunately, you gotta do what you can. And again, I don't really like putting stop leak in something, but in a situation like this where you just got to get there, this car's got 109,000 kilometers on it. Those bolts on the front of the motor, it was more like they had 309,000 kilometers. Like they weren't budging at all. So it is what it is. Did the best we could. It's got stop leak in there, fresh coolant, fresh oil, and should not be a problem to make it all the way down to Pennsylvania. I'm excited to leave bright and early tomorrow morning and catch out some very cool scenery. We're going to go through the Gananoque, cross over at Alexandria Bay. I've never been there either, so that should be good times. We'll catch some clips of on the road as well, and then catch up with you guys again once we get to the show. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. And all on these jobs, I know we've been doing a little bit of DIY stuff lately, and if you guys want to try and get into this stuff, you're gonna have to do it yourself, because that's the most cost-effective way. So go out and build and have fun while doing it.